If we look at the people in our life with gratitude for all that is good and recognize what they do for us, instead of being critical of what is missing or what they lack, how would our relationships change? Gratitude for what is good in others breeds more goodness. Constant criticism or fault-finding brings insecurity and discord. If it is our habit to look at our spouse, parents, children, friends, and teachers in a positive way, expressing our love and gratitude for what they do, validating their efforts, it creates in them a desire to do more of the same. On the other side, if our efforts are criticized or it is always pointed out what we lack or what is missing in the relationship, it tears down and destroys. Lack of gratitude toward others makes them fearful to have a connection with us. Appreciation and validation make our connection with others strong. At the age of 53, John Kralik discovered that gratitude can change your life. In December of 2007, everything in his life seemed to be going wrong. Several of his clients weren't paying their legal bills, and as a result, his small law firm was failing and he was low on funds. He was going through a painful second divorce. His relationship with his 2 grown sons was strained. He was concerned that he was going to lose contact with his 7-year-old daughter. He was living in a small apartment, which was cold and drafty in the winter and a furnace in the summer. He was physically unhealthy from stress and not taking care of himself. He felt that his dream of becoming a judge was no longer a possibility for him. While hiking in the hills near his home on New Year's Day, Kralik decided that he would try to lessen his misery by focusing on the things in his life that he was grateful for, instead of focusing on the things that were going wrong. He remembered his grandfather who had taught him the importance of writing thank you notes. This inspired Kralik to set the goal, right then and there, of writing 365 thank you notes in the coming year. A year later, Kralik's life had completely changed. Kralik got started with his project in early 2008 by writing thank you notes to all the people who had given him a Christmas gift. Once Kralik ran out of gifts, he had to broaden his net of gratitude. His next step was to write thank you notes to his coworkers. However, when he ran out of coworkers, he got stuck again. He began telling himself that he didn't really have anything to be grateful for. That's when he walked into his regular Starbucks and the server greeted him by name, asked if he wanted his usual drink, and gave him a big smile. Kralik was struck by the fact that he was receiving such cheerful, personalized service. He asked the server for his name and then wrote him a simple thank you note. The note said the following: "Scott, thank you for taking the time each morning to greet me in a friendly way. It is also so wonderful to me that you took the time and trouble to remember my name. In this day and age, few people make this effort, and fewer still do it in a way that feels sincere. You do both. It really makes a difference to me every day." As Kralik continued with his 365 Thank Yous project, he realized several important things, including the following. First, he realized that writing the thank you notes kept him focused on the little things which he had been taking for granted. This shifted his attention from what was going wrong in his life to what was going right. He realized that he really didn't have such a bad life, and that he was surrounded by people doing things for him. Second, Kralik's exchanges with others changed. About 2 months after he started the project, he stopped responding to the question of "how are you?" by griping about his problems. Instead, he started referring to the thank you note that he had written the day before in his conversations. Third, Kralik began looking for something to be grateful for, even in bad situations. At one point, he decided to write a thank you note to a second wife, whom he was in the process of divorcing. However, he felt so much anger toward her that he just couldn't get himself to think of something to thank her for. Then he thought of the fact that she was doing a great job raising their daughter, and he realized that he was grateful to her for that. Giving his wife thanks for being a good mother to his child helped to make their relationship more cordial, and the divorce proceedings became smoother. Fourth, Kralik realized that giving thanks doesn't just have a positive effect on the life of the person showing gratitude. It also has a positive effect on the person who's on the receiving end. People feel validated when they're recognized by others for something they've done. In fact, Kralik discovered that a lot of people were keeping his handwritten thank you notes. Others like feeling appreciated and knowing that what they do matters. Writing the thank you notes transformed Kralik's life. By showing gratitude for even the smallest things that went right, the big things started to fall into place. By the time he wrote his 365th thank you note, he was a much happier person. He had a loving relationship, he'd lost weight, his business was prospering, he'd grown closer to his children, and he'd reconnected with old friends he had lost touch with. Today, Kralik is a judge in the Los Angeles Superior Court. Showing gratitude is one of the best ways to strengthen our families and friendships.